Canadian alt pop band Valley was recently in town as part of its Lost in Translation album tour, and I got to speak with the band members over the weekend just before their show in Manila. They told me more about their latest album and how excited they were to perform for their Filipino fans for the first time.
I keep saying I don't know if we're going to fully understand what's happening until we get home and look back. But I think that's important because we're trying to be really in the moment, really enjoy it, because it's been years in the making. And yeah, I think we're just like learning so much about also the world. I mean, we've always been so fascinated with coming here, and obviously we love the food, we love the fashion, the culture, the people. Everyone's so kind and amazing. But to fully be here and experience it, it feels like once in a lifetime for us. And obviously we want to come back.
But are you nervous, excited? I mean, meeting your Filipino fans for the very, very first time?
I find I don't have as much time to be nervous. I don't know if that makes sense, but we kind of land, do all these things, get to the venue, and there's so many things that have to go right for the show to go on. And that's on top of all of the travel and everything that you already have to worry about. So by the time you're actually done playing the show, that's when the nerves might have set in, and you're like, oh my god, I just finally took in what I could. And so yeah,
it's so go.
It's so go. So I think it's just we're just enjoying it as much as we can, trying to live in the moment as much as we possibly can, and I guess not have as much nerves as we might normally have. So
yeah, I think the show is like the least. I don't know. We've just played so many shows. Mm-hmm. We are just so excited. I think it's more of an excitement. We've converted the nerves into excitement.
Are you guys on remote control? I mean, is there a
little bit.
Like auto?
You guys know the routine. You guys know what you need to do to get you ready for the show, to get you psyched, and
100%. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like our tour manager just winds us up like a toy, and it's like, hey, let's get them ready for today.
But it's the rest of the experiences.
It's the rest.
Make touring. It's because every fan is like a different person. They're individuals, and I think doing each press opportunity is different. Like this morning, we had a bunch of authentic Filipino breakfast food, and it's we're not doing that in Ohio on tour. So it's the new it's like the new experiences traveling that we really try and take in, because that's such a beautiful part of touring, and then meeting new fans every single night. They all have their own stories. And
do you change the set list from one city to another depending on the audience or the fans, or you pretty much have the same?
Sometimes we will change it depending on if we know that a song is bigger in a certain country or region, but we'll also take requests. We won't there's not a period in the set where it's okay, request, but if somebody is screaming a song, which we haven't heard that a ton here, but in North America people will spend the whole first half of the set screaming a song, and it's just okay, I guess we'll play that.
And they scream out the song, wanting you to sing it, but they end up singing it anyway. They don't get to hear you.
I know, exactly. We're it's coming, just wait. But other times it's so hard because we've obviously we try to put out a body of work every year. So we do have a lot of music, and it's really, really tough to pick which songs are going in the set list, and you just can't please everybody. You can't please yourself either. There's songs I wish we were playing, but we're not.
I was just going to say, you guys do dish out a lot of songs. Yeah. From EPs to LPs, EPs, LPs. Yeah. What makes you decide when do you do an EP? When do you do an LP? Why an EP? Why not another LP?
Yeah.
How does that work for you guys?
I feel like we know when the time is right. For instance, for this album, we put out our first record maybe, and then we put out 2 EPs during the pandemic because it was kind of a time for us to experiment and not
But your EPs were amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean they hold the same weight in terms of creativity, but it's just less songs, and it was also more exploration musically. I feel like we're just trying a bunch of different things, and the universe will kind of tell you when it's time for an album, and it felt right for a second album.
It's almost like a TV show versus a movie, a 3-hour movie. You know what I mean? There's something about the overall theme of a bunch of songs coming together because of the time you were going through and when you were writing it and where you were writing it. And it just like sort of creates itself, and you can't really like deny it of its authentic self. Like it kind of either an album comes out or like an EP comes out. And I think that happens in like the time of your life. And I think an EP, like Rob said, is more like, I don't want to put so much pressure on this. I just want to make a bunch of music, and like we still make it cohesive. We still have intros and transitions and stuff because artistically we're just obsessed with that stuff. But it's like when there's an album, I think the way it's consumed is like it's not about just like a song being on a playlist. It's about people listening to it top to bottom and soundtracking their life to it.
But now in Lost in Translation, it was meant to be an album. I mean, you put that in your mind and said, guys,
From day
buckle
one.
down. We're
Yeah.
gonna do an album.
we definitely knew.
And what was it about Lost in Translation? I mean, interesting title.
Yeah.
Why Lost in Translation?
Yeah, I mean, that was a song that we originally wrote.
Way back when.
Way back when,
that you
yeah.
dished out.
It was in Dropbox forever. It was just a song. It had like a verse and a chorus, and it was actually called something different too. But we were just kind of like messing around with that. And then once we kind of got to making an album, we kind of resurfaced it and kind of rewrote it as a kind of complement to like the beginning of a new era for us. So if you listen to Lost in Translation, the song, it actually calls back a lot of old lyrics from our first album, from a bunch of EPs. All the songs are kind of like all the lyrics are little like Easter eggs of kind of our past. And this album kind of feels like us kind of reflecting on our past, but also on our future. And I don't think it's a very, we've been saying this a lot, like it's not a very like answering question record. It's a very seeking album. But in general, I mean, if you look at the cover, it's kind of classic value. It's just us. Like I think a lot of this album is just about our life, our experiences, and bandhood. Just what's it like to be in a band.
It's really not that bad. It's not bad. We have a sibling dynamic.
Okay.
I've never really like, I don't know. We're so different, but I think that's very topical. Like we're actually very much the same.
but different.
And I think that's why the album is sort of this figuring out kind of stage of us, because we know we're the same, but I think we're in this stage of our lives where like we have been the same for so long that we want to be different from each other, but we know that we're the same. So it's like, why are we running away from that? But we want like our independence, and like that's just like what you do when you have a sibling too.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I mean, you survived 10 years. I mean, or so of being together. I mean, there must be something dynamic, you know, within each one of you. And as you come together as a group, you know, it's like you guys just all vault in and make something, you know, wonderful happen.
Yeah.
After the Philippines, I know you guys are busy, but what's next for you?
we're going
To?
to Australia.
Oh, you are. Okay.
And like we're doing like a bunch of other Asian countries
yeah,
as well.
Hong Kong,
but,
Singapore.
but Australia will be very cool because we've never been
Yeah,
there. And then after this tour, we're doing a couple other tours, and then, well, I don't know. We want to write more music. We're kind of itching to write.
Well, we are so excited and happy that you finally made it to this part of the world.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I mean, this is a beautiful place. We're so honored to be here. First time ever playing a show. Definitely not our last. And yeah, we love you guys. Just honored to be here. Please check out our new album, Lost in Translation, if you want to listen to a great album, because we love it. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.